Good evening, YouTubers and friends. How are you all doing tonight? I hope you're doing well. Thanks for coming and joining us for another Tuesday Night Hangout Live with Toledo Jess, Angela, minus Dano, and I. Tonight we have Tony from 5280 Adventures out of Colorado. Really good guy. Puts on, well, he used to put on more good live streams, but he metal detects. He also has another channel down in the description for his fishing, camping, hiking, whatnot. Very well-rounded guy, so don't go away. We'll be right back with Tony from 5280. Hey, YouTubers and friends, thanks for joining us for another episode of Tuesday Night Hangout Live with Toledo Jess, Dano, the Treasure Vixens, and I. Thanks for the super chat. Oh, doggone it. And I didn't check my buttons, Jesse.
No.
So I was beat from the heat today, and I went into the den, and I died on the couch. And about 6:45, Judy comes down and says, "You know it's Tuesday night. It's show night tonight, Ed. It's after 6:30." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I know." I was beat.
Well, that's why when I came on, you were eating.
Yeah, I usually do that ahead of time, much sooner. But no, the son started on a new school, and we got our rebar, and I was building pads, no relief from the sun. I might even throw I can't, because that's in my camp trailer. The pains of a pop-up trailer, I tell you. Well, I was thinking about taking my easy canopy so I could throw it in the middle and get some relief from the sun, but, packed.
That would be a lot of work. I'd open the camper up and pull it out. Yeah.
Packed white stone, on your building pad. It reminds me of skiing on a sunny day. It's just sun blaring up at you, down on you, up at you. Oh my goodness.
And then it's hot too.
Yeah, and then it's hot on top of that. At least it wasn't as humid as last week. Yesterday was great. No humidity at all, hardly. But hey, we have a whole room of totally awesome people tonight.
Yeah, see that. We're no Dano tonight, huh?
He sent
or Rose.
Well, we knew Rose was going to be a rarity, which is understandable. It's her busy season, busiest year of her busy season. But we have Angela.
Here.
Yeah.
I miss Rose too, guys. I don't even hardly get to see her much. It's sad.
But I did get a text from Dano, and he said he's running late,
Yep.
for the big bucks and that company van he drives,
Right.
Sometimes he has to work late, sometimes not. I got another text, wonder if it's from him.
Well, let's say hello to our chat room tonight. At this point, we got like 26 people, starting with Partridge Family Prospecting first tonight. Oh, wait, that's Top Chat.
That's a rookie mistake.
Yeah, I know. So, yeah, the world's greatest moderator, Mr. Lodek. What's up, Jaron? And then American Woodland Relics, how are you? Jason Keefe, prospecting, what's up?
Jason
When's he supposed
Keith's
to be here?
actually here in the States
Oh,
right now in
where's he at? Where
Pennsylvania.
you at? We're in Pennsylvania, huh? Snuggle Pirate, what's up?
Aaron HD Shovelhead and B3
Yeah,
Relic Recovery.
yeah. Kevin
Luke,
Hubbard.
Jesse's dog.
No, not my dog.
No.
Those are my dogs.
Oh, your
Not my
dog.
dog. My dog don't bark like that.
Finding goodies too. Hello.
Luke, outdoors, what's up, Luke?
Did you mention Nugget Brain Wayne? He's in the
Oh,
chat
we try
there.
not to. We really
Oh,
try.
that guy?
Oh,
No,
man.
Already a
no.
faux pas. I already screwed up.
Yeah. At Wayne. What's up, Wayne?
How you doing, Mr. Peterson? No, Wayne's a
Terry
great
Mitchell.
guy. Run
okay,
for the
well,
hills
thanks, Terry.
mining. I'm not gonna
Terry's-
try it.
Terry said Nikki won't be here today. She's away on a group camp. Oh, okay. Well, tell her we said hi when you see her. We're going to miss her tonight.
Mhm.
And let's see. Finding goodies too.
Thank you, Terry. Yeah.
Ron from Ron for the Hills Mining. What's up, Ron?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it, Jesse.
I
I know,
heard you.
I was waiting.
I heard you wimp out. I heard you wimp out.
I was sad.
I know. That's bad. Don't even. Not even gonna try it.
No, my voice just ain't there. And if I'm gonna do an Iron Maiden piece, I want it to be good. And it
Hey,
just
Lee
hasn't
Duncan, how are you
been,
tonight?
just hasn't been there the last few times.
That's right. Hit that up, the thumbs up. I always forget. Thank you.
I did get, well, I got an envelope from our friend Kevin Hubbard.
Did you?
Yeah. I'll let you get on him, Jesse. See, nice little putty cat. Says thank you.
Aww.
Focus!
There's a
But
whole putty cat.
he did send a couple of stickers. Thank you, Kevin.
A couple?
Yeah.
A 5?
No, you get on him, Angela.
We need 5. 5. It's the rule of 5.
It used to be the 3 rule. Now it's become the 5 rule.
Hey Flash, Ed, my friend, thank you for all you do. You are cool. I like the way you are. Thank you, Kevin. I am glad to have you on my streams. Here is my stickers. Your friend Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. Oh, he sent Mr. Lodak a bunch.
I love getting mail from other subscribers.
So do I,
It's
Tony.
awesome. I have a whole envelope full, and it's great. Great people.
I like getting mail, period, from anybody. It's always nice to see what people are sending you.
I'm happy when my orders come in on time.
What?
I'm happy when my orders come in on time.
Oh, that's nice too.
Yeah.
David B.
David B.
Thanks,
Zolte.
Snorkel. Snorkel sent me something. Just want to say thanks.
Yeah, I saw it, Jason. Oh, and Aaron's sending you something.
I know. I'm excited.
Nice. Okay, Sonia, that'd be great. I need
you
more
just-
stickers on my shop wall. I have
Right.
Tony's
I have
there.
a board that I put my stickers on. Yeah.
David
Tin
Villa
cup.
says his phone bill's on the way to you.
Yeah,
Not
I
me,
saw
not
that.
you
That's
guys.
hilarious.
Yeah, Tin Cup, how you doing tonight? Haven't seen you in a while.
For Mr. Lodak.
Up Tim.
Tim's, good to see you. American Woodland Relics, good to see you also.
Paul's always on live streams.
Oh yeah, yeah, he's in here quite a bit.
He's a
Uh,
great supporter of many channels. He's a great guy.
Tin Cup's been slacking lately, though. I haven't seen him for a while.
Right. I like live feeds myself, especially when the hosts are
as good looking as Angela.
Thanks.
Okay. But no, when the host interacts with the chat room, I think that's great. I like it because, especially in these times of isolation and now all this other stuff, there's not too many ways to connect with people anymore. Unfortunately, I still like giving hugs and shaking hands and.
Me too.
So but at least this way you can interact and have some kind of.
And we're social distance.
Social distancing, it's still good, right? So I'm on a different camera, guys. I got my phone I'm using my phone. That's why I'm all over the place.
Yeah, you kind of look like me now. Like you have
Right,
two monitors going, or three.
I got two.
But you're not freezing up. We'll need to figure out something someday.
I was scared, Jesse. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, "Uh-oh, Jesse's not working. I'm gonna have to do all the questions. I don't know if I can do that."
No, you could. No worries, Tin Cup. I'm sorry, Tim. I just missed you around, brother. And I see you a lot at Liz's live streams, but I haven't even been able to make it to hers lately. And I like Liz.
Just so you understand, Tim Cup, we're not picking on you. We just missed you, and we do notice. And we do notice when our chat people don't come in. We do pay attention.
He just took a break. He's coming back strong.
That's fine. Just like when you used to take a day off of work and come back to work and they call you part-time, right?
Right. Welcome home. Back home, Tim.
Yeah.
Welcome back home. Feel cheap. Oh man.
He's not being used and passed around. Don't worry about that.
The only way we want you to feel is welcome.
That's right. That's right.
We just want you to feel welcome. We care that you're here.
And missed when you're not.
When you come back. And if you're not here, we miss you. That's
all. Hey,
all.
Madison, Maine, how you doing?
Don't do it again. Come back next week, damn it. He needs a cuddle now.
Madison, give Tim a cuddle, please.
Yeah. Man. That's all. So let's play with our guest now. Well, no, wait. Before we do that, I want to tell you I took Ruby magnet fishing. We had a great time. I think she likes to magnet fish. She's a sign queen. Pulls out signs. She got one whole sign with the pole and just a pole of another one on the same spot. It was fun. It was really a blast. It was hot, but it was a blast.
I'm glad you guys had a good time.
Oh yeah, she. I showed you the picture. She was all dressed for it, huh?
I always turn into a mud ball, so I wear like the crappiest clothes I have, and always dark colors because I know I'm gonna get all stained brown. So
she'll learn. She'll learn. Yeah, she even had her sparkly gold shoes on. but that's okay.
Looking good.
You have to still look good. Just because you're going there doesn't mean you don't have to look good.
Yeah, just because you're digging around, rooting around, and pulling crap
Right.
out of the creek, so I mean you can't look good.
Oh, and speaking of Liz, hi Liz.
Look at that, right on
Hey,
cue.
Yeah, Liz, she's a cool chick. Cool bird.
Partridge
Cool
Family asked
gal.
if I sold the gun, and I want to know, like, what do you mean? What gun? What gun did I sell?
The one you pulled out of a creek, maybe?
Which one? I pulled a couple out. I
Didn't you
didn't sell
turn?
any of them.
Didn't you turn some of them into the cops?
Yeah, I turned all of them into the cops. They all had serial numbers, so I had to.
Oh, okay, okay.
But that's the law there, right?
It's pretty much everywhere. If they have serial numbers, you turn them in.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, no, well, in Ohio, you turn them in, but if they're not involved in a crime, you can have them back.
30
Well, that's the law here
days.
too, but they don't actually give them back to you. Or
Our
Hey,
friend
actually, you probably
Jeffrey
don't go
got
back
his
home.
back. Outdoor influencer got his back.
Yeah,
I
you
know.
You have to go
Ours
back
they
for 'em.
said. Ours they said they give us a call after they run the numbers and yada yada yada, and they never call you back.
Right, you have to call them. You have to call.
I don't have a FOID card, so I technically I can't go pick it up anyway.
What would you do with it even if you did, right?
I'd mount it on the wall.
It's
That's
a
a
cool
trophy
relic.
piece.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There you go.
Mhm.
Oh, it wasn't a gun. Now
Oh,
he's saying it wasn't a gun.
In the last video, yeah, that wasn't a gun. It looked like it looked like a gun at first.
Oh, that one.
So I
That
made
piece-
it into the thumbnail.
Yeah.
Well, if I found a gun magnet fishing or metal detecting or whatever, panning for gold in it, or dredging like HD, Judy found that one toy Winchester.
Right.
I'd
awesome.
mount that. Heck yeah.
You do what with it? You mount it?
Not that way, Angela, but I'd.
And I actually wasn't thinking that, but
Oh, okay.
treat it like a duck.
Angela's picking on you, Rudy.
It's a rough crowd out there.
Talking about
Jeez.
Mountain ducks. But leave her duck alone.
HD says it's in his display case. Great place for it.
That's where
buddy.
I would put it.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Now, Tony, do you have a big relic room like Aqua Jigger or Matt?
Oh Lord, no! I've got a display case right over here, and that's about it. There's some stuff maybe up on the shelves up there, but yeah, nothing like a room. I would love to have enough finds to fill a room.
Now, what was your first find?
Oh, my first find was a 1919 wheat penny.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
cool.
That got me hooked. That was it. Because I thought, every find after that's going to be amazing, right? That's how it goes.
Yeah, even the bottle caps and pull tabs.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh,
right.
yeah, especially them gum wrappers.
Oh, the foil. Oh,
Oh, yeah. Love the foil.
I've been digging a lot of foil lately because I'm looking for gold. I'm looking for gold coins, but I found enough foil to wrap enough baked potatoes for everybody to eat. I'll tell you what.
What was your favorite find? Today.
Ooh, favorite find. That's a tough one. My favorite coin was my Spanish real.
Ooh.
I don't know. That's my favorite coin. I have lots of favorite relics that I've enjoyed finding. Buttons, Civil War era buttons, and bullets and things like that.
What about that thing that you found with the swords for the hat.
Oh, the cross
You're pretty
sabers.
excited about that
cavalry.
one.
The cavalry hat badge or buttons.
Ooh,
Pins.
nice.
Yeah, that was yeah, I have that one in a case. I guess that would probably be my favorite relic for sure. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
That was amazing find.
I have been dying to know, and I held off. I wanted to ask you in the pre-show so bad.
Okay.
I have to know what 5280s. Where does that come from?
You don't know what 52? Does anybody know what 5280 means? I'm sure.
I don't.
I know
was gonna
people
ask
in the
you.
chat. People in the chat. I guarantee people in the chat will be able to tell you. It has to do with Colorado.
Okay.
I'll give you a little hint there. Has to do with Colorado.
I'm good on the chat.
See,
I
Mile
got it.
High City.
Mile High City.
Yep. So there's 5,280 feet in a mile.
Right.
Oh.
So,
okay. That's so clever.
They had a V8.
So
makes
you
obvious
are in
sense once you
Denver.
know.
You're in Denver.
Right. Oh, so that was obvious. What the hell? I have the common sense. I asked my wife that question earlier today too.
Oh, did you?
Oh, I know. Just wait.
Don't.
Yep. Oh,
Yeah, I just came up with that because I figured, you know, that's where I'm going to be doing most of my detecting and treasure hunting and stuff like that. So I wanted it to be really about Colorado, and you know, my logo then also is the Colorado flag.
Right.
So just trying to really focus on the Colorado aspect. Not that I don't do stuff everywhere else.
And 5280 would be obvious where you're talking about, right?
Sometimes it's not so obvious.
No,
Yeah,
sometimes-
Jesse, sometimes it's not so obvious.
No, you're not the first to ask me. Lots and lots of people on live streams have asked me, what in the world does that mean? Is that the, you know, I don't know. What in the world is that? So if you're from Colorado, it makes sense right away. But if you're from elsewhere,
well, yeah,
you wouldn't know that. So a lot of stuff out here that's titled 5280 auto, 5280, you know,
okay.
glass, you know, applying, like all that kind of stuff. Everybody's
Right.
5280. So
Gotcha.
Okay.
Very cool.
I don't remember seeing much of it my last time through Denver and up to Loveland and
yeah, it's a lot in Denver. You know, you get up in the mountains. They're different stuff up in the mountains. They like their history of the silver mining and that kind of stuff up in the mountains.
I'm sure the 5280 you're going to see more in Denver,
right?
Yeah,
than outside.
Yeah,
because they're
Mile
at
High
different
City.
elevations.
Right. I wasn't in Denver long at all my last time there. I went right up to my cousins in Loveland, just a little north.
Yeah, I spent some time in Idaho Springs.
Beautiful area right there.
Oh,
I've done a lot of hiking there, not far from Mount Evans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you know my favorite road, Oh My God Road.
Oh yeah, the highest road in the United States.
Is it called Oh My God?
That's the nickname of it.
Yeah, Oh My God Road.
That's
It's
great.
one lane.
Boy,
lane.
it's 3 a.m. Sorry, it's 3 a.m. in Greece right now. Well, thanks, Half-Blind Gamer, for joining us at such a wicked hour in the morning. I'd be waking up in an hour.
Wow. You're international here, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Greece. I've never seen anybody from Greece. That's awesome.
He comes in every once in a while.
That's
got him
cool.
from Australia, and we've had him from Germany and Ireland and England and
Australia.
yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Down south too. I mean, trying to remember where Jason's from.
Wasn't he in Puerto Rico?
Jason's he lives in Dominican Republic now.
That's right.
But he's back where he's from now in PA. He's gonna be here for a while. And Jesse, we need to get him on the creek.
Yep.
He's gonna Saturday the 1st, he's gonna meet Tom somewhere. We need to talk to Tom from Tom's Gold Dirt and Chris and Dyer and
On the first, yeah, I can do the
that's
first.
Saturday.
I can do Saturday or Sunday.
We'll if they're game for us, a few old guys hanging out with the young pups, but we'll see. We'll see.
See if they can keep up with us, right?
Where were we? Sorry, Tony. And
Well,
all
we
this
were
pre-show stuff.
we're supposed
This
to let
show's
Tony
all
talk
about you. Tony's
Right.
going, yeah, sure, right now.
Yeah.
So, we were talking a little, and you must have said something about it before because I was already subscribed to your other channel.
Yeah. So I originally was going to put on, I do a lot of fishing as well as metal detecting and treasure hunting and stuff like that. So I was going to put it all on one channel, but I decided to kind of make it like kind of an outdoors activity type of channel. So that one's called Colorado Adventures. And I do, when I'm not metal detecting 3 seasons out of the year, when it snows and gets cold here in Colorado, our lakes freeze. And I am a passionate ice fisherman. So there's a lot of ice fishing videos over there, a couple hiking, camping, that kind of stuff. So
Wouldn't you rather be skiing or snowboarding when it's
you know what?
freezing out than
So
sitting on a bucket under a little hole?
I don't want to give all the great details of this because it's actually pretty darn fun. But everybody that doesn't do ice fishing, they think it's like you sitting there freezing and you never catch any fish. And I tell you, I'm out because you get up so high in the Rocky Mountains here in Colorado. You're up at 11,000 feet. You're up closer to the sun. So I'll end up taking off my jacket and sitting there ice fishing in a shirt like you have on, a long sleeve cotton t-shirt, and you come down, you're all completely sunburned and everything else because you're up there up so high and stuff. And I catch probably 10 times more fish ice fishing than I do open water.
Just like you were saying earlier, Ed, when you were at work, you were around all that white stone. How hot it was.
Oh yeah.
And how it burns you, and that's the same way the ice is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Plus you get that reflection and
Right.
I moved here 30 years ago, and I used to do a lot of skiing and stuff like that, but there's been so many people that have moved here to Colorado. Trying to get up to those slopes now it's insane. Plus I had 2 years ago I had both my knees scoped to clean up damage and meniscus and crap like that. So I'm not getting on any skis here in the near future.
Yeah. You get those are fun things when you're young.
Right. Yeah. And I did it in high school and I actually had a blast. I mean, I was,
Right.
I loved being up there. I mean, I love the mountains. I love the outdoors. So yeah, it's a natural environment for me, but the toll that it takes on your body, it can be pretty rough. I'd rather just sit on the ice and ice fish. It's a lot easier on my knees.
So I noticed that you catch a lot of yellow perch.
Yeah. And in fact, I mean, that's
some beautiful perch. For that fact, some nice big ones. Now, I'm right on the Lake Erie, and
yes.
our Lake Erie perch. And you say you're from Ohio in the first place, right?
Yes, I am. Absolutely.
You know the difference between the two. Which one do you like the best?
There's no comparison, honestly. Lake Erie has the best fish I've ever had in my entire life, and there's nothing here in Colorado that can even match it.
Lake Erie perch.
Lake Erie perch, Lake Erie walleye. This is some of the best fish you'll ever eat by far.
But I have to say, man, that perch you're catching there, it's huge.
You know what? I've been trying to target them a lot more because I've been missing the Ohio fish so darn much. I'm tired of catching rainbow trout and lake trout out here, which is what a lot of the stuff is that we have out here. I want to get back to what my fishing was back from Ohio. I've got, walleye, you have the perch, you got bluegill, catfish, bullheads. You got, I mean, all of
Yeah.
that fishing that I grew up doing all my entire life, I'm starting to miss it. So I'm really trying to focus on trying to bring that back in to my repertoire, per se, because I've missed it so much. Definitely, Ohio fishing is awesome.
So you planning a trip in the wintertime to go to like Port Clinton or something? Go.
Oh, I would love to. I absolutely would love to. Thin Blue Diggers just popped in the chat here. That's Nick. He lives up in Ohio as well, and he was just out doing some walleye fishing this week.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. He just put out a video and fried those things up, and I tell you what, he did a good job on those. It made me really want to get back there. I would love to go back and do ice fishing on Lake Erie.
Yeah, that's cool.
That would be pretty amazing.
I haven't been ice fishing in a long time.
Yeah,
myself.
I've never been ice fishing.
I'll be honest with you, since I started prospecting for gold,
yeah,
I haven't really been fishing at all.
Same here.
I've just put all my efforts into doing that,
yeah.
So I go to Jolly Rogers and I have my perch there.
Man, when I lived in Ohio, I mean, it was Friday night. It was Friday fish fry. Every Friday night, that's what we had. And in fact, I went back to visit my grandma. She just turned 100 a couple months ago, and I was back there to visit her. And she lives in an assisted living home, and they, it's kind of like cafeteria style, and it's just it's a bunch of garbage that they feed these old people. And so I picked her up and I said, "Where do you want to go?" She says, "I want to go up on the lake and I want to go to a restaurant and get some fresh fish." And so I took her up there, and she had this huge fish sandwich that it was a breaded walleye sandwich. And oh my gosh, she ate the whole thing. She was in heaven. She still talks about it. This was like 2 years ago. She still talks about it.
I had walleye over the weekend. Went on a prospecting trip for my friend's birthday, and Bainbridge is the closest town. And this really small restaurant has some delicious walleye there. The whole meal was delicious. Yeah, I was so full. Luke Duke had to eat one of my 3 fillets. I'm like, dude, I'm so stuffed I can't eat anymore.
And Tin Cup says, walleye fillets with eggs for breakfast.
I just, it's kind of funny. We're talking about fish. I had a catfish. I had a beer battered catfish tonight for dinner before we came on.
Cool.
I love my fish. I tell you, I love my fish. I've got a freezer full of rainbow trout that I'll throw on the grill every once in a while. And I don't let the perch or the walleye or the catfish get frozen. I eat that stuff fresh there.
Fresh. Yep.
Oh yeah. Nothing better.
Oh yeah. I tell you another fish that I like. It's crappie, white crappie.
Yep.
But
absolutely.
That's got to be fresh. Once it's frozen, it's no good.
Yep. Agreed. Absolutely. Agree with that,
yeah. In fact, catch it and cook it.
Yeah. We just, when I go ice fishing, I just bring home so much trout that I end up throwing it in the freezer, and I fill the bag full of water and then just freeze it in a solid block. So I try to cut down on that freezer burn.
Right. Yeah.
Because I have the whole fish in there.
I'm wondering now, I lived decades in Washington State. I'm originally from California, but I lived in Washington for decades. And it got to the point where now I don't even want to eat salmon.
Yeah.
I lived on a great salmon fishery area. I had a salmon stream in my backyard. If it wasn't illegal, I could catch it by hand in my backyard. But found gold in that creek too. But I have eaten so much salmon while I was up there, I just don't have a palate for it anymore. Now whitefish, but it's, I don't know if it's just too rich and.
I kind of have gotten the same way with trout though. I've just eaten so much trout that I just would really rather eat something else.
Anything other than that.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering, you know, up there, you know, we catch a lot of salmon, a lot of cutthroat, which is nothing more than a sea-bound trout.
Yep.
And a lot of rainbow, a lot of brookies and stuff, and just I'll stick to my white fish now. But
Yeah, when I lived in Idaho Springs, I used to go up to Georgetown and
Yep. Georgetown's got some good trout.
Yeah, under the dam there.
Yep.
All them boulders, all them holes. Oh my God.
They've got some good brown trout in there.
Yep. That was awesome.
And I wanted to say real quick, Treasure Vixens is in the chat.
That's me.
Oh.
She's one of the vixens.
She's one of the vixens.
Well,
that's Angela.
I wanted to say hi to the Treasure Vixens.
Hi, how are you? It's nice to meet ya.
No, I wanted to thank you for watching some videos and commenting and stuff today.
Oh, no problem. I enjoyed your videos, actually.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
You might very well have a new viewer now, a new subscriber.
Yeah, if I take my foot out of my mouth, maybe I might have a chance at that.
We've added.
Hey, just go ahead and edit that part out of this, okay?
We've added 2 new guests or co-hosts for our guests to enjoy. Tony, meet one of them, Angela, the Treasure Vixens. Rose has to work quite often late. Kind of like our Dano bro, but we're very happy with the new addition to the Flash fam.
Aww.
Here on Tuesday nights.
But we're not here to talk about her.
No, we're here to talk about you.
We're here to talk to Tony.
Now, what got you into metal detecting? When? Where? What you find? It wasn't that first penny, was it?
No. It goes back before that. So I grew up just loving history. When I started college, I wanted to major in history, become a professor or archaeologist, that kind of thing. I just love history, learning about, you know, what's going on in world history for the, you know, all the time. And so I've just always loved it. And when I was out here in Colorado, I really started researching. You know, I love to learn about, you know, I would do a search on Idaho Springs and find out everything that I can about Idaho Springs. You know, it's just what I am. I just love the history of it. And then I moved to Northern Virginia and worked for the government for a little bit. I lived in Winchester, Virginia. And I really, at that point, was like, you know, the history out here, I really fell in love with Civil War history. And I did not have a metal detector. I mean, dummy me. I ended up moving back to Colorado, and I just said, you know what? I have to start metal detecting, or else I'm never going to do this. So I went on to eBay and bought an Ace 250 for like $100. And I just said, I'm just going to go do this, you know, and started out doing a little bit of research. And I found an abandoned lot, and I went and got permission for it and went on it. And my first find was that 1919 wheat penny. And then after that, I was just hooked. And now it's to me, it's the research that drives me. It's the research of finding, you know, an old spot, and the research of what used to be there that's no longer there. And then going out and then finding something that is, you know, 100, 150 years old that, you know, and then what, to me, like, what's the story of that find then? And that just, it consumes me more than I should probably let on, because it's on my brain all the time.
You know,
just
also
history.
Finding something that's connected to that history that you
Yep.
you know, any little thing that's connected to that particular.
It's amazing.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was out bottle digging a couple weeks ago, and I found a medicine bottle that was embossed with Leadville. And to me, that was one of the greatest things I've ever found, because I was in that town, and to find a bottle from 1897 that says Leadville on it, you know, and then I try to do the research on it, and I can't find anything about that specific drugstore. So I don't know. It's just it's awesome. I like that personalized
I
part
want
of
to
it
know
as well.
more about that Sloan's bottle, because I have a Sloan's bottle that looked just like that one that I found a few weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab it. I'll be back. You keep chatting. I'll be right back.
Okay. I don't know much about the bottle. I looked up the years that it was produced, but I didn't I don't know much more other than that, unfortunately. So I wish I could just spout off a whole history lesson on it.
Yeah,
Yes,
you know,
Sloan's
keep
liniment.
research, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I keep researching it all the time. It's fantastic.
Luke says it's a liniment.
Liniment. Sloan's liniment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sloan's liniment.
That's it. Yeah. It's
And
exactly it.
You said it was like 1910 or something like that.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's over 100 years old.
Nice.
So have you bought more metal detectors since that one?
Yeah.
So
I saved up.
Like, you have more than one for like treasure hunting, one for gold?
No, I kind of use them all. I use them all for different things because, you know, going to sites over and over, I have really learned this year that a different machine will give you different recognition. And it really surprised me when I took out a second machine to a farm that we had been pounding, and so I originally started with the 250, and I used that for about a year and a half, really hunting a lot of parks and tot lots, because I thought it was just great that I could come home with money, you know, coins, and so I saved up, and I ended up you know, asking for gift cards and stuff for my birthday and Christmases and all that kind of stuff, and ended up buying an AT Pro after that. And then I used that for about a year, and then I was down in Mancos, Colorado, at the Watts show a couple years ago with Nugget Brain Wayne, and I ended up winning a Garrett AT Gold. So I had 3 machines, and I love the AT Pro, loved it with the passion, swore up and down by it. And I just said, you know what, starting last year, I said, once we came out of our freeze and the ground thawed, I said, I'm putting the Pro away. I'm going to start with the gold. And I used that for a year and a half up until recently, and really learned that one. That was my dedication to it. And like I said, we were pounding on this farm, and we had an AT Max, we had an AT Gold, and a T2. Those were the 3 machines that we had out on that farm. And then I pulled the AT Pro out and went back out there, and I was hearing sounds that I'd never heard before. So even a change just in the frequency itself really helped draw out some more relics that we hadn't found yet, and then we literally pounded this place over and over. So and I have pre-ordered the Apex now, so I'm looking forward to the end of this month to hopefully, fingers crossed, that we'll get the Apex sent out soon.
Nice.
Excellent.
I'll be hitting a Fairgrounds here next week.
Yeah.
After the carnival's gone. It'll be a good one.
Absolutely. Those are great places.
Yeah. But this fair has been going on since I was a little kid, I think the first time I ever went to, I was probably 14 or 15 years old, and I'm like ancient. So all these years, you know, let's see, if I was 14, that'd have been like 64. So
wow. Yeah.
All these years of that fair being there, and I don't know how many people have metal detected, but this year they're opening the whole fairgrounds, the whole complex, to do whatever you want.
Jeez.
So So all the different areas that they've had throughout the years, the concerts, the rib-offs,
Oh yeah.
rodeos, the 4-H clubs, all the softball games, football games. I'm going to be there for a long time.
Yeah, you're talking about the rodeos and things like that. Paul from American Woodland Relics, he just said, I found my first silver at the fairgrounds at the rodeo arena. Quick story on that. Paul was, when he first got onto YouTube, he found my channel and became a very loyal subscriber and participant in the live streams, as he is here. And he was asking me questions through my Facebook page, and we got to know each other pretty well. And sure enough, I just kept encouraging, go out and, get yourself a detector and get to digging. And he says, I just got permission at these fairgrounds. And so he went out there and he found a silver dime. And I was like one of the first people that he texted. And he was so excited. And I was so elated for him that, I'll never, ever forget that. That I was able to, that he shared that with me, and that meant an absolute ton to me. I mean, that was just absolutely amazing.
I took my wife out. She got a AT Pro.
Yeah.
So she got to go out and learn it. So I took her out last week to the fairgrounds after I got permission. So we went there for a little bit. She found her first coin spill. It was only 12 cents, but it was a coin spill. It was right there. That's a coin spill.
Absolutely. That counts. That counts.
Yeah. It was all clad. Everything we found was clad, but
yeah,
I pretty much figured that. But hey, she got the AT Pro. I've got a 350, and I've got a MindLab Gold Monster 1000.
There you go.
And I'm going to be using that one out there because I'm looking for the rings.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. I'm going to be looking for the rings. Because so far all I've found is tinfoil and gum wrappers, things like that. But that's all right. You got to clear the trash, right?
That's right.
That's right. So yeah.
Yeah, I've been digging a lot of foil lately. I've been looking for the gold. I have yet to hit a solid gold relic, whether it's a coin or a piece of jewelry. I've never gotten a gold anything. So I've really been focusing this year now to try and get on the gold wagon.
Well, yeah, I need to get as much practice as I can with the Gold Monster.
Yep.
I'm taking it to California with me
in
September to go do some mining, and I want to use that. So I need to learn it better before I get out there.
How tough is that machine? I've never used it, and I don't see a lot of people that do use that.
Well, it's not too bad. It's either going to tell you, no, that's not going to be gold, or that could be gold, more likely to be gold. So I'm still learning the different tones and noises that it makes, trying to figure out what's what. But, just got to practice.
I have a detection question I could ask you, Tony, since you're a big detectorist. Now, we're going to California in September.
Okay.
And I plan on doing a lot of crevicing and detecting. Of course, our targets are nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Knox 800 and a Fisher Goldbug Pro. Which one do you think would work best in a heavy mineralized area such as the Mother Lode?
I would go with the Goldbug.
Okay.
Pro. Yep. Just trying to think of frequencies. I think that one might be better. I don't know 100% offhand, but that's what I'm leaning towards.
Okay. Well, it's appreciated.
Yeah.
Because I've been getting mixed answers.
Really?
Really, in this you get mixed answers as to which one to take.
Yeah, yeah.
That's like asking which mat do I use, which sluice box do I use.
Well, Shovel Ed says I'm right, and Terry Carter says the gold bug, and Drummond Detect says just take both. So there you go.
Well, hey,
Terry Carter, we
Oh,
were
Terry.
hoping you'd be in here.
yeah,
See, we told you.
I know.
He
Happy
even
to see
packs a
Terry.
wrench.
yeah,
He does. Look at that.
Yeah, he's a wrench guy.
Yeah.
Well
deserved.
So I'm taking my Gold Monster 1000 as I'm learning it.
Yeah.
Probably take both coils just in case.
Well, I just bought the 6-inch coil for my Knox too.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's still up in the air. I can't take two because I gotta take my gold pin and stuff, my wetsuit, my mask and snorkel, and some other stuff too. But
there's a question from Richard Davis that I just want clarification on so I can answer it for him. But it says, is the Garrett ATX hard to run? Not sure which one because I've used the Pro and the Gold. Just want to make sure I understand what the question is on that.
Todd says bring everything. Okay, Todd. And we'll do that.
Richard Davis said he clarified. He said the Gold. It's not much different than the Pro, to be honest with you. It sounds a little bit different, and if you have any experience with any detectors, I think it would be pretty fine to use it. But I went from the Pro to the Gold, and there wasn't much of a learning curve from that. But it definitely is a little bit different, but it wasn't that difficult to learn.
Can I ask some beginner questions?
Sure.
By all means.
We're all here just to learn. And I don't have all the answers, but I'm sure the chat does.
Oh,
I have a metal detector, and I played around with it for a year. I was determined to learn how to use it. It's I didn't even know what kind it was. It was the people in the chat told me it was a bounty hunter. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, you showed it.
Right. So they said I was a bounty hunter. What do you use the ground balance for, first of all? I still have no idea. I can't figure it out.
The ground balance has to do with mineralization. So when you ground balance, it makes it kind of like zero, puts the detector at zero based on the mineralization. So if you don't ground balance and it's high in mineralization, you're going to get a lot of feedback because it's picking up everything.
So how do you know when to use it then?
Every time that you pull it out you're on a different site. Because all the soil is going to be all different every single spot that you're at.
How do I know when I have it set correctly?
I don't know how to ground balance on a bounty hunter, so
Okay.
I can't attest to that one.
Gotcha.
For the Garrett products, it just when you hit the ground balance and you move it up and down, the coil up and down on the ground, you'll see numbers change on the face of the Garrett, and then when it stops changing, that's when it's ground balanced.
Okay.
But the bounty hunter, I don't know.
And I have a million questions because I'm not a good metal detector. I'm not good at it. I find it confusing. I just dig everything because I'm
it takes practice.
There. Why do I dig all these spots and there's nothing there?
It's there. You're just not
the pinpointing of it.
Yeah,
identifying
it exactly where it's at, because sometimes you'll pick up something so small.
Okay.
You know, a little piece of tinfoil hiding in dirt you'll never see. Until you. That's why you'll see a lot of metal detectors have pinpointers. That's to help them.
I know that's on my birthday wish list.
Yeah, That's literally what you use that for, to pinpoint exactly where that target is.
Right. I feel like that's going to make it so much easier.
It does. I spent a year without one, and
Mm-hmm.
again, just to make sure that I would enjoy the hobby, but also kind of not, jumping into a Cadillac or the best, having everything. It kind of made me
Right.
respect the hobby a little bit more, for sure. But it does make it a lot easier.
And that's kind of where I was at with it too. Like I didn't want to spend a fortune on this,
Yep.
but then after a year and I still can't quite figure out what to do, and I love treasure hunting in general, I'm like, nah, okay, yeah, I'm gonna get a pinpointer because I definitely want to figure this out better.
I think the answer to maybe some of your questions, I don't know what they all are, but the simple answer is going to be that it's a difficult answer, and the only way you can answer it is time behind the machine.
That seems
As
to be everyone's
Jesse would
answer.
always
It is.
say.
Practice.
There's no all-encompassing easy way to do it.
Ooh.
The best detectorists really know what the machine is telling you, because the machine's not lying about anything. The machine's telling you something. You just have to figure out what the machine's trying to tell you.
Right.
And the only way to learn that is to put in the time.
Learn your
So-
tool.
That's all.
Like
I
You
just want
heard
to
me-
find
you
the
heard me-
treasure.
you heard me say earlier too that I'm trying to figure out the different tones and what they all mean,
Yep.
because they all mean something different, And
Right.
at this
Right.
point, I don't know what they mean yet. But the more I dig with it, the more I hunt with it, the more attuned I will become to that machine, which
Yeah.
is what I need to do before I go up to California, because I want to find all them damn gold nuggets. Ruby says
Yeah.
I have to or don't come home.
Tones
No,
and
I'm going to get
numbers.
beating.
Todd
That's what it
says tones and numbers. Yeah.
Tones and numbers. I have no numbers, Todd. It's just
Scuba Sonia gave me a tip, and I thank you, girl. That's Scuba Sonia. She's my girl, Scuba Sonia. I love her.
Fisher makes a good pinpointer. There's a lot of them out there. There's different ones. Garrett makes a good one. There's off-brand ones that have worked just as good.
I love the Garrett carrot. I swear up and down by that. I think that's the
I've
best.
heard that was a
Well,
good
you know
one.
I'll
pinpointer.
tell you what, the Garrett carrot, for me, I've got 3 different ones. One's the Garrett carrot, one's the old black Garrett,
Mhm.
and then some off-brand. The carrot, to me, seems like it starts picking up my target way before the other two do. I mean, I
Absolutely.
can be about a foot away, before, and it starts picking it up. The other two, I almost have to be right on it.
Yep.
So I definitely like the Garrett carrot.
Yeah. Yeah. The carrot has incredible depth, as well as pinpointing, which is what it's supposed to do. But
Right.
it'll tell you how far, just based on listening to it, how far away you are from that target as well.
Yep. And the way I like using it, when I find a target with a metal detector, I take my carrot and point it straight down
Yes.
and work straight around until I pinpoint. That way I can dig my hole smaller too.
Yep.
I have to dig a 4 foot wide hole to find my target.
That's
And
what I have, drum detect and Nakota.
Nocta.
Yeah,
Nocta
they
pointer,
make the
yeah.
simplex and that, right? Yeah, I didn't even spend. It was under $90 for my pinpointer, and it's waterproof. Comes with 2 sleeves that go over the point. A nice case. I was happy with it. It seems to work real well too. I do have a Garrett pinpointer, but not the Garrett carrot.
Yeah, I started out with the original, the black one, and that's a good pinpointer as well. But once I got the carrot, I realized that the big difference of between the two of them. And I take the black one with me as a backup in case something happens. I actually have 3 pinpointers that I take 2 carrots and the original black one. But I just got the Z-Link carrot, and so it actually links wirelessly to my headphones
Oh,
Cool.
through the Z-Link through Garrett now. So I love that.
And I'm sure everybody has their preference on
Absolutely.
their pinpointers. Somebody said something that they use an elliptical coil, so it works great as a pinpointer. And I agree that if you learn how to use your metal detector and your coil properly, you can get really close to your targets.
Yep.
You know, but again, that takes practice. That takes learning your particular machine.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
I'll get there.
Yep. It takes time.
I
now,
want it to take time.
You want it now.
You're all into
I want
instant,
it
Where's the treasure now?
instant gratification. We understand.
it's not quite like magnet fishing.
I know, you
Angela.
just throw the rope out there, pull it back in, and you got treasure.
That's right.
Treasure.
Now,
So,
what made you start your channel?
Ooh, good question.
I love that question.
Yeah. So when I started learning more about metal detecting, I went right to YouTube and started watching YouTubers. And one of the first ones that I watched was Stealth Diggers. And then I wanted to try and find somebody in Colorado that I had maybe something in common with. And I found the Hunter GT, and he was filming. He lived down south of Colorado, down in the Pueblo area, which is close to New Mexico. And he was making video about metal detecting, parks, and all that kind of stuff. And so he has a website, and he's got a chat room. And so I got on there and everything. And he really inspired me to just do it. Literally, I mean, there's no other way for me to just say it. It just was, just go out and do it. Document how you want it, and do what since you enjoy it, go have fun. And it was awkward to be on camera right away. That's like the hardest thing to me was being on camera, because I'm a natural introvert to the fullest. And just by doing YouTube, it's definitely brought out some personality that I didn't know that I had, which is pretty cool. And it allows me to kind of, if I'm around my family and friends like that, I'm like the biggest goofball. And my wife hates it because we'll be walking in the mall or something, and I'll trip on purpose and just sprawl out all over the floor just to get a laugh out of people. And it's just how I've always been. I've always been kind of that hysterical person, unless I'm in an uneasy environment around people that I don't know, and I'm the guy in the corner that's deathly quiet, that never wants to talk. So just kind of, my family's been very supportive, just saying, let your personality come out in your videos, and you're a funny guy. You have lots of great stories, and it just really, watching the Hunter GT and then just the encouragement from the family, it just made me want to make videos. And if you go back and watch those early videos, they're absolutely atrocious. They're the worst things I've ever seen, to be honest.
I think that's with
really
every YouTuber.
I agree. That's everybody.
It is so bad. But at that time I didn't know how to record. I didn't know how to edit. It was just kind of learning as you go, and something that I try on every video is to try something just a little bit different, a little bit better. Whether it's how I present a certain find or how I edit a certain part of the video or something like that. And I'm just trying to learn and make myself better. And I love documenting it. I was watching somebody's video, and I don't remember if it was a live stream or a video, but they said, I'm making these videos now because when my grandkids can now go back and watch their grandfather loving to do a hobby, and they can see how, your personality was, how you spoke, how you walked, and like all those things. And it's just documenting kind of, what I enjoy doing in life. So I think it's pretty neat little thing. I guess that's how I got started. And then it just really snowballed from there.
Interesting way of saving yourself for posterity, huh?
Right. Right.
know?
You know,
I mean, because you're always going to be on now forever and ever.
I know,
You know?
right? For good or bad, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
the bad are the old videos, and the
You know,
and
100 years from now, people could be sitting here watching. What is this?
right?
Tuesday Night
What is
Live.
this YouTube thing that you're talking about?
Exactly.
What are these weird people doing out here?
Right?
And someone go, hey, that's my grandpa. That's my grandma. over
That's
there."
right. And I have a 2-year-old granddaughter now, so I have to think about those things.
No, sure. I've got lots of those.
Yeah, they'll meet some actor's kid at school and they'll say, well, my dad's on such and such, like, okay, days of my lives.
Right.
And they'll say, well, so what? My grandpa's a YouTuber.
That's right. That's right. And that's funny because when I just had a video come out last week, and it was a real short one. We were hunting at a school, and I found a mercury dime. But when we got there, we were talking to the owners, and I have business cards that I take with me, and I have stickers for my channel, and I don't lead with it. We talk about what we enjoy doing and how we want to learn about the history of that property and sharing it then with the current owners. And then all of a sudden, we had mentioned something about YouTube, and the two little boys that were there, I think they're about 4 and 7, their ears perked up and they looked and they said, "You have a YouTube channel?" They looked at me like I walked on water. It was just, and I'm like, yeah, it's a very small channel, guys. Don't worry about it. But they thought that was like the coolest thing in the world. And I love that. I love sharing these experiences with kids. It's just something that I just have a passion for, whether it's metal detecting or fishing or camping. Like, I love doing it with kids and kind of passing on these things to them. It's what my family did to me. My dad's, I had 2 dads, a stepdad and my natural dad, but they passed on things that I've been able to take and make it who I am now. And I want to do that as well for all these other kids. And I kind of took these 2 boys underneath my wing, and they followed me around for a couple hours. And they just thought it was the best thing. Every time I got a target, they're like, "Oh my gosh, what is it? What is it?" And I would dig it up, and they would let them find it. And they just thought it was the neatest thing in the world. And then I wanted to record. It wasn't the best video in the world, but I wanted to record it and include them in it because they thought it was just the coolest thing that they knew a YouTuber. So I wanted to include their names on the video and have them watch it. And who knows, maybe, that's the next, big YouTuber, in 5-10 years or something. And all of a sudden could be a different platform, but maybe that inspires them to document or follow their dreams of things that they want to do. So I thought it was fantastic. I absolutely love that. It was amazing to be around them for half a day.
Like, not only that, but maybe you've instilled treasure hunting in them also.
Well, ironically, when we were talking with the dad, they had just moved into this. So they moved into this school, and they're converting it into a home. They're actually renovating the entire thing and making it into a home.
Cool.
But while they're doing the renovations, their stuff is in storage. And they said right away, they said, well, my boys have metal detectors. So they've gone around and they found, bullets on the property. And so, that was another thing that all of a sudden it was, you're on YouTube and you have a metal detector. And then, that video kind of has them in it. So, I told them before I left.
Then they went home and they're like, "Dad, we want to have a YouTube channel." And Dad's like, "But I don't have time for this."
I know,
Please, Dad, please.
I know, probably. Probably, yeah. I just caused more headache for the dad and mom now, but that's okay. No, but I had told them before I left.
You gave the kids something else to do besides play video games and sit in the house, right?
Yeah.
Todd said made a comment here a minute ago.
Yep.
That making YouTube videos has become a hobby in itself.
Yes.
A hobby within a hobby, a sub hobby in a hobby.
I know. I always get this surprised look when I tell somebody that I do YouTube videos or I'm on YouTube Live. I get a YouTube.
An old
Doesn't
man
everybody?
like you?
You?
Right. Well, I've got
I said, doesn't everybody? I thought everybody did.
right. Well, I have 4 kids, and when I first started it, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, 4 years ago, my boys were, they weren't too interested. They're my oldest, and then my daughter, she thought it was pretty cool, and then my youngest stepson, Caden, he thought that it was the best thing in the entire world. That we did this stuff on YouTube, and now, my kids brag to their friends. Well, my dad's on YouTube. He's got this many subscribers, and he does this, and he's talking. He's on a live stream tonight, and like they think it's like the neatest thing.
Bizarre.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
I-
It's another
I-
thing for
I-
us to connect with, which has been amazing.
Right. And I saw Caden when he found his first ring, and
Oh my
that's
gosh.
so cool. Right? We were talking about this earlier. In their teens, they're going to out for a while because there's other things happening to
Right.
them, and metal detecting has nothing to do with any of it.
Right.
But
Yep.
but I think it'll be something that he'll pick up and he'll go, I used to do that. I really loved it. I want to do that again.
Yeah. Yeah.
At some point.
And I've been there. I've been there to help them. Like, I don't push on them at all, but I've learned some things. The analytics I've learned a lot about. Different programs on editing. I've learned a lot about, and that I didn't know before I started all this stuff. And he knows that I'm there. If he wants to do it, then I would give him. I would definitely help him on it, but I don't push it on him. Either
Right.
he will or he won't. And if he doesn't, then no big deal. But yeah. And
Okay,
Terry Carter says, I can remember when you had Caden eat a grasshopper on YouTube.
I was gonna say, tell us the story. Tell us the story.
Well, we were down in Mancos, Colorado at the Watts event, and it was some downtime that it wasn't during one of the organized events. And Caden and I, we used to do all kinds of these challenge videos. So we would come up with, whoever found the first nickel, or was the winner, or whoever found the most amount of coins, or whatever, and then the loser would have to do something. And we've done things from pie in the face to he shaved my beard off one time. The ice bucket challenge. So we had the dump the water on us, and it was another way for him and I to connect in metal detecting, YouTube, and then the actual event itself. So we were down in Mancos. Long story, I guess. We were down in Mancos, and there's grasshoppers everywhere. It's super, super hot down there. And I can't remember. I think it was the first coin, because nobody had found a coin yet. And I said, okay, the first coin, was the winner, and it was just gonna be a quick video because we had a little bit of downtime. Well, I ended up finding a coin, and I caught a grasshopper for him, and he manned up and he ate that thing raw. I couldn't believe it. He paid his debt. And after he started munching on it, he goes, it's not so bad. He says it's more crunchy than anything else. And I'm like, that meant a lot to me that he followed through on it.
Well, not only that, now he learned a survival skill.
There you go. And it's funny because a lot of people still talk about that video. I know Terry was down there when we made that video. So was Wayne, and Gypsy was down there too. But yeah, he followed through, and that to me, he proved a lot to me when he did that, because a pie to the face, or you gotta drink pickle juice, or something like that, no big deal, but to actually grab a grasshopper and then eat it, he impressed me. So it's funny that Terry said that. That's funny.
I tell him I think he's awesome.
Yeah, no doubt.
I saw a couple new people here, and one of them's Adventures in Dirt.
Yeah, DK.
DK should join us. Thanks for coming on.
Yep. Let's see. Hello, Sheila Cummings. Just joined us. At least I just saw her join us.
Right.
Bye, Luke Duke.
Have a
Have a
good
good night
night,
at
Luke
work.
Duke.
Later, Luke.
Thanks, Luke, for coming on.
Get some work done. I'll be PA for life.
Luke Duke was with us at our friend's party, camp out prospecting. He found a couple of native artifacts in the stream.
Cool.
Luke Duke has been getting around lately.
Yeah. Well, he backed out. Then he got on the phone with Dano and he's like, man, I think I should have came in. I'm like, dude, get in that truck, point it east, drive. I'll take the short bed. You can have the better bed since you're like Lurch. He's a lot taller than I am. So he came, had a good time. He made this really cool high banker. I'm going to have him make me one. You'll see it sometime, Jesse. Now, you're right by your display, Tony. What kind
Yes.
of treasure porn do you have that you could share with all our treasure-holic friends?
All right.
The hell is that?
Here's something lame. You want to find something? Look at this.
Whatever you want to show.
I've got an old Barbasol jar, and it's labeled, each thing's, and it says Barbasol all the way around, and it's stacked full of these stupid square nails. And I don't know why I collect these things. I think they're cool just because each one of them is handmade, which I love the history on, because these meant so much to so many people.
Well, those were a very valued commodity
Yes.
back in the day, make me 100 nails, please.
Right. Let's see.
Cavalry hat emblem.
Downey's Detecting and Prospecting says that ain't nothing. Well, there's a reason why we call you Square Nails, Square Nail Bob.
SpongeBob Square Nails.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can show this without a glare, because I got a big light in front of me here. That is the cavalry hat pin with the company letter. And then I also, on a different hunt, not too far from there, I found 1858 McClellan saddle badge.
Nice.
Which went on the cavalry saddles.
Nice.
So that's one of my best finds I've ever had. And that one is the only one that's made me cry.
Made you cry.
It
That
made me
is
cry.
sweet.
When that
Hey,
came out,
Cassie.
that was crazy.
Yeah, I was actually in the 8th Cav when I was in the Army.
Oh,
Yeah. Of course, we didn't ride horses anymore.
right.
We rode helicopters.
I've got this. This is going to come out in a future video, not too far out, but just a locking mechanism, which I thought was cool.
An
They're
old
cool.
skeleton key lock plate.
Yep.
Nice.
And then the handle went right through there, or the knob. So I thought that was cool. And then
You know what's really cool about those? They actually had to cut that hole out for that to fit into the door.
Right.
And that's a deep hole to cut.
Sure. Yeah, I did. It didn't have the mechanism on the inside. I would love to find a full one, but I thought that was cool.
Oh yeah. Well, those springs and that small stuff probably rust away a lot.
Yeah,
quick.
Absolutely.
So was that brass?
I do believe it's brass. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's why the steel is gone.
Right.
And the brass is still there.
Yeah, and there was some iron gadgets on the inside.
Right.
You can see the orange in it. What other stories do I have? I love finding these, and I've only found two, but this one right here, and I don't know if I can show that like that or not. Maybe it's too close.
Tax token?
It is a tax token, and it's a Colorado tax token, which again I think is just a really cool find because it's kind of personalized. Like it was it was made for a specific reason, because of fractional payments and things like that, and I just think that's really cool. We don't use that nowadays. They had
No.
to create it and make it and use it 50, 60, 70 years ago, and I just think it's a neat little find that we don't have anymore.
I probably have about 100 of those.
Oh gosh,
Just Colorado. I have a heap load of tokens.
Oh, hey, what's up, Adam? I see Adam's in the house.
Yeah.
Adam's in the house. What do you do now?
While I was in Leadville, I actually found some of these, and this was
a Crucible.
A Crucible, that's right. And there's a larger one here, and the prospectors,
cool.
The prospectors would use this, melt it down, and then the cool thing that I like about this is it says this particular one was made in England, and the Leadville goes back to the 1870s. So just pretty neat.
That's cool.
Neat piece.
Now, did you find them by an old assayer's office?
I actually found them in the bottle dump.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And they were a pretty popular item on that day that I was there. I was talking with the one guy who said he's been going through this bottle dump since 1968.
Wow.
Yeah, he's been there a while. He knows everything about it, but he had a whole bucket full of these things. They were specifically targeting those that day. And, I told him that was my first time up in Leadville and in the bottle dump and he reached into his bucket and he gave me those two pieces. So
cool.
He said, here, this is for your collection to start you off on a good note today.
Nice.
I thought that was really neat. Good
nice.
people. Good people.
Uh-huh.
You can't beat that.
No, you sure can't.
That's awesome. Those are nice, well used too. You could tell.
Yeah, but what's the story of that? To me, again, like we were talking earlier, who had that? How much gold did they find? Did they make it big? Did they strike out and have to go back east? Or
right?
Well,
was it a stopping point to move on to California?
Was it an assayer? Was it a miner?
You said there was a lot of them there. You would think.
Yeah.
In my mind, it would sound like there was an assayer there, and he was doing a lot of assaying, and you for so long, and then he goes them out and probably bought them by the wagon load.
Doing fire assays with
for the miners and stuff.
But it's the stories. It's that history that just that what if history. I love that. I love that.
Now, how often do you do that what if history? When you find something, your mind just goes wild,
Nearly every time that I find something. The first thing that blows me away is once I can identify what it is, the first thing that pops into my brain is, I'm the first person to touch this Civil War General Service button in 160 years or something.
Right.
And that to me is not a lot of people get to experience something like that. And then it goes to, why did it fall off here? Why, why is it here? So I don't, you either have that mindset or you don't, I guess. Some people ask me, why do you do what you do? I just love the history of it. We were digging in a spot that we found probably close to, I would say at least 20 general service buttons, and then maybe another 70 bullets. So you know, why did the cavalry camp there? You know, what was the reason, and why did they drop so many bullets? Why did they do this? We found personalized items from that area as well. I found a set of cufflinks that weren't military; they were personal.
Hmm.
I know DK, who was hunting with me from Adventures Endured. DK found what we thought was like a sewing kit. He found a whole bunch of needles in one concentrated spot. Why did those get dropped there? You know, why did they get left there? Was it accidental? Was it intentional?
Did they get ambushed by
Right.
Indians?
They could have been, yeah, like those kind of questions. And we found on that specific site, we found one infantry button, an I button. Why, and it still had gold on it as well. So it was an officer's button, but why was that infantry officer there at a cavalry camp? But what's the story of that to that? You know, it's that what if, and in fact, you know, when we find certain things like that, and I could do more research on it, we can actually come up with the stories that have already been told. You know, this specific unit was in this location or in this general area, and we can say, yes, that was like my hat pin. That was Company B that was there from the cavalry. You know, and it's very specific then,
Right.
which again is just incredible. And the kind of the really cool part of that area that we've been hunting is the folklore, the story of it was that they were actually training Confederate soldiers in that area, and we have found a couple Confederate bullets, but no buttons, nothing else that specifically says Confederate, which we're still looking for because we want to know if that story is true or not. We want to validate that story, which would be incredible.
Hmm.
Okay.
It's always, you know, it's always fun finding a spot like that, and then
Yeah,
coming up with what you believe happened, and then or your story that you believe would fit
sure.
what you find, and then
Yeah.
research it and find out that you're either totally wrong or you had some of it right. You know,
Right.
you had a good idea what actually happened. So that's all fun. That's the fun.
Absolutely.
That's
I've
the
watched quite a few different metal detectors looking for the Civil War stuff,
Mhm.
and they get really excited over the bullets. And is that because they're worth money, or is it like why are they so excited? Because it seems like they find bullet after bullet. So wouldn't
Right.
the
For us in Colorado, because there were no battles that were here, we never thought that we'd find anything that kind of related back to Civil War era, because you know, it's not Civil War necessarily, it's Civil War era. But we did have a lot of activity with Indians. So the cavalry was out here to help, you know, as things were settling to the west. We did have some of those the cavalry units out here helping against the Indians. So to answer your question, I get excited because again, it's a part of history. It's an important part of their history because that was their self-defense. You know, we didn't have battles per se where, you know, the soldiers are hiking tens of miles, and they're pulling out bullets and dropping them because all that lead that they're carrying is weighing them down. But you know, we found a camp. Why do we have so many drop bullets at a camp? And I think for us, just having 170 years of history, 160 years of history that we never thought we'd be able to touch unless we went back east, was a big deal to us. So I
right?
think probably each person has their own reason why they enjoy it. I mean, I would love to find a personalized bullet, a carved bullet, because again, it's a very personal item that specific soldier put their stamp on. That to me would be incredible. So I guess it's probably just part of history.
Yeah. So did you
So
love history class when you were in school then?
did I what with history
Did you
class?
love history in
Oh yeah.
school?
Oh yeah. Absolutely. I took every history class that I could. Absolutely.
I hated history when I was in school, but now that I'm older, I'm like, well, history's kind of cool.
It's very cool.
There's
very
your answer, Jeff. GoPro Unlimited says, "Am I the only one who hated history in school but loves it now?"
Yeah, that's
See,
me
look at
too.
that.
So I guess you're not, Jeff.
Think about this, Angela. Any bullet you find could have been a murder weapon.
I know, I saw that.
Yeah.
Bullets don't stick to magnets, so.
Right.
Some of them do. We found lots of bullets.
There's in casings, though, right?
No, we found like bullets. We found bullet shells. We found all sorts of bullety stuff.
Ooh.
Bullety stuff.
That one video that we found all the parts of the AK-47. We found tons of bullets at that bridge.
Wow.
Like actual bullets.
Well, yeah, because the primer's metal, steel. The primer itself is made out of, is magnetic. So that's how you would get the shells out.
Yeah, I just catch it and stick it in the bucket.
Yeah, I know. They call it a thing.
Very simple.
Yep. Another thing. Yeah, I think everybody's kind of the same way. In school, history was kind of boring. Had to remember dates and events, memorize this person and that date and this event. And
I failed history.
the next day, do the same thing over again. Take a test. And forget.
I'm glad my dad was a history teacher, because the way he taught me history was taking me there.
Well, that's because you have a history teacher.
Yeah.
As a dad. We didn't have a history teacher as a dad. We had a teacher that was a history teacher.
Right. Well, I didn't. I'm like Miss Laurel. I didn't like school. I was like school, loved surfing, so I was always ditching at the beach.
He was lucky to teach you any history at all.
Look what Snorkel Pirate says. All the stuff I was forced to do was boring, and now that I can explore it on my own, it's more interesting. So that's the same exact thing Ed said. Was going out to it, is a lot different than just reading it out of a book and then throwing up the information on a test.
Like I said, memorizing dates and places and time.
Yeah. Yep.
Boring.
Miss Laurel had a crush on her history teacher.
That Miss Laurel.
Now, I'm sure during the winter time when it snows deep and the ice is all over and you're not out fishing, you do a lot of research, I presume, like we do.
Oh, I have stacks everywhere of research, and I'm I like to have paper because I take it with me out in the field. So, if we're gonna go out, I start prepping. I start printing off maps and overlays and things like that. So I've got little stacks all over the place of different maps and old sites and everything else. And my wife just hates it. But yeah, I love doing the research. Is just, it's really cool. Again, of learning of an old site, what used to be there, and then going out and finding it that it's not there anymore. It's like it's an accomplishment just even finding the site.
Yeah, that was when I first started doing this. I was looking through aerial photographs.
Yeah,
or historical aerial photographs. I think is the name of the site. I don't remember now. But I actually was able to find an area that I'd been kind of looking around. Found two building marks in that program, in that app, that I was actually able to find the cellar holes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was so cool, be able to be in an area, look it up.
Yep.
Historic aerials, it's called.
Yes. Yes, I love that site.
Yes.
Writing that down.
You
But
could
yeah, it
find
was cool
old
being able
bridges.
to look at here. I'm standing in a certain part of a river in a wooded area, and I looked at that, and I went back through the history of it, and found that there were 2 buildings in that spot. There wasn't nothing there now. It's all wooded and
Right, right.
overgrown and everything. But by going to using that historic aerials, I was able to pinpoint those 2 places that were supposed to have been buildings, and there were 2 cellar holes there. And that was so awesome. Just being able to
Absolutely.
find that, I haven't been there belly checking yet. I'm hoping to get there. But I was just happy to find that. I was thrilled just to find those 2 spots.
Well,
That would be exciting.
Yeah, well, I've got two outcomes when I'm doing my research. So I'll be looking at historic aerials, or I actually have a video that teaches you how to use a specific website. And it's a huge long URL, so I won't go back and watch the video. It'll teach you something different besides historic aerials. But so I'll be looking at that, and then I'll go over to Google Maps and see what that area looks like right now. So I have 2 different emotions. The first one is when I'm looking at it, I'm going, oh my gosh, this was like a small little town that I've never heard of, and it's out in the middle of nowhere. It's on a 1911 map, but it's not on a 1913 map. So it's super old. And then I'll go over to Google Maps, and there's a brand new neighborhood right on top of it. And it's like the worst feeling in my gut of all of that history that was lost. I absolutely hate that.
Now, I've done the same thing using Google Maps.
Yeah.
I found an area where there used to be, I don't know if I want to call it a town, but a group of buildings, right? And I look there now, and it's a cornfield, right?
That's good. Yeah.
Well, except I can't get on the cornfield.
That's how they plow it. Yes.
Yeah. I can't get permission.
Oh.
But I'd love to go check out, see if there's any remnants of those buildings, because it shows probably about a half dozen buildings. Now,
that's crazy.
Whether they were houses, or anything like that, just that there were buildings there.
Well, up in your area for sure. I mean, that actually happens quite a bit. When I was in Ohio a couple years ago with Detection Connection, Don from Detection Connection, he took me out, showed me these maps, and they're 1840s maps of literally a town that stretched a mile long on both sides, and he's like, these are just cornfields now, or soybean fields. And we get out there, and everything's plowed up, and he's got we go and knock on the doors and get our permissions, and sure enough, I mean, you'll find he shows me, he's like, you see that ridge right there, that's where the blacksmith shop was, and we go up there, and there's lots of iron up there. Or he says, down in the corner here, what's a little bit lower, that's where the schoolhouse was. And he put me on a site where I found my first large cent, and then I found a Spanish real.
Nice.
And they're literally just cornfields. There's nothing else out there. There's no cellar holes. There's nothing. It's all been tilled and planted on. You're in a great area. I can attest to it. Up there on the lake, because that's where I actually found my large cent and my real. So
wow, around here, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We'll have to look harder, Ruby.
Actually, Jesse, at my own little private Idaho, I know where an old homestead was.
I know you keep saying that.
And, well, we found clay pipes there and Indian trade beads. Now, I have permission now to detect it. And the owner of the property that leases it to Joe's family, he says he wants to show us where there's an old pioneer cemetery in the woods somewhere there.
Oh.
Of course, I wouldn't do nothing as sacrilege as dig around a cemetery, I'm not a grave robber, but it'd just be interesting to see it.
But if we can find a path that leads to it,
Oh yeah, because
can always check the path.
and to find out if there was a privy house there, and
There you
a
go.
lot of stuff gets tossed into old privies.
Yes. Hey, Ed,
Yeah.
are you able to make me a moderator for a second? David Villa says, guys, shush, I'm learning. I want to throw up that video that I made.
Yeah,
So
I'm
they can go back and watch it. It helps.
I usually make my guests moderators a lot earlier.
No problem.
Hey,
No, that's fine.
BB, how are you tonight?
Could you type something in the room real quick? I scrolled back a little, but I don't see it.
Nope, I gotcha.
Hey, Jeremiah, how you doing? There you are,
Here for the
Tony.
free whiskey. All right.
See?
I got rum. Well, and tequila.
Perfect.
Oh yeah, now we're talking.
Uh-oh. You like tequila?
what I drink.
Oh,
Yeah, how about mezcal?
Patron.
No, mezcal.
Patron. That's what I drink. That's what I drink.
I had too much fun in Mexico on tequila, and that's why I don't drink it no more.
That's what Rose always calls it too, to kill ya.
That's funny. So,
Doodle
for,
Shop Digging.
who
Have
was
any
looking
of
for
you
that?
found anything that you may think have changed known history of the area? You have detected rum and whiskey? Gotta love them. Oh.
Doodles,
In
that's
other words, I think what they're asking is, have you found something that definitely changed
right.
what you initially thought the history was of that any area or object?
Well, yeah, that's that story, you know, the folklore of that the Confederates were in this area that were training. Right. So I'm really hoping that we can, you know, confirm it. You know, up until this point, it's just a story. But I would definitely love to find something to validate exactly what that is, that they were on this specific ranch. You know, because the story is they were being trained for the Confederate Army, and they were in Colorado to steal the gold for the Confederate Army, you know, that kind of thing. And they actually,
like the Confederate sympathizers in California.
Yep. Correct. Yep. Absolutely. And I mean, I don't want to give away too much of the area that we're on, but there's definitely some interesting Colorado history for this specific ranch that we have permission on, for sure. But I would love to find, if I just found a Confederate button, that would 100% validate that entire story right there. Like I said, I think we found 2 or 3 bullets that were used by Confederates, but that doesn't verify 100%. You know, those could have been,
because a lot of those guys, even after the war and everything, when I was all over, a lot of those guys traveled back home.
Sure.
And took their weapons and ammunition with them, and probably still made boats the same way.
And a lot of soldiers went west too.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
Sure.
And during the Civil War era, the Union were on 2 fronts. You know, they had Indian wars out west, and they had the Civil War going on in the east. But you know, there could be scrimmages or training facilities for the Confederate very well. I could see it possible. You know, they were there for the gold for the Confederacy.
Yep.
Right.
I could see that being that way in California as well.
Absolutely. And I just would love to validate it. I mean, that would be really cool to, and again, just because I haven't found anything Confederate as well, you know, that would be pretty amazing. But then also to confirm kind of that alleged story would be really cool for sure. Other than that, no, I've never changed history.
No, yeah. Well, at least, even if you don't change it, at least validate it, right?
Yeah,
At least
exactly.
that it really did happen.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. I mean, and history doesn't always necessarily mean way back, because history could be as recent as 50 years ago.
Hmm.
You know?
Sure, absolutely. Well, I mean, the bottle dump that I'm in, I mean, just finding things from the 19 teens or 1900s to
Right?
me again is super old. But it's still history, still history, and I will never be one of those history snobs that's like, oh, that's only 100 years old. I don't think that's
Right.
very
Well,
important to
you
me. It's so cool.
right. When you mentioned the Barbasol bottle earlier,
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna say. Like a bottle like this to last 100 years. That's
sure.
a long time.
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Well,
Actually,
when you said the Barbasol bottle, I flashed back on driving down to Texas on Route 66 and seeing all the Barbasol signs that you read one word at a time every mile. You
A
know?
letter here and there.
No, it'd be a word, and you'd have to read all the signs in order to get the commercial. That's what it was. It was a commercial for Barbasol. But I flashed. I remember reading those. I'd sit there and wait for the next word to come.
I have got a quick story. You had said that if there's anything interesting. I have this bottle right here. It's a cork top. It's embossed with Lysol. It does have a seam, so it's not super old, and I can't remember the date on this exactly. But when I was out bottle digging, I found this, and it's not broken or chipped, so I brought it home because I thought it was really cool. My grandma at the time, my grandma was living with me, and we were taking care of her because she was kind of on her last leg. She passed away not too far off after this, but I showed her this bottle, and she took it, and she called me Tone. She was the only person in the world that ever called me Tone. She said, "Tone, have a seat." And I sat down, and I can remember this, and I'll always remember this for the rest of my life. She goes, "I remember when I was a child, this bottle being in my medicine cabinet, not this one specifically, but obviously what was inside and things like that. And I remember my mom having this bottle, and I could look into my grandma's eyes, and I could see her being back 90 years, and looking at that bottle. And it was just really cool that she could share that with me, and that I could share that with her as well. So, it may not be the oldest thing in the world, but that bottle right there, my grandma remembers, and I'll always remember that, her telling me that story.
That's
So,
cool.
yeah.
That's a great story.
Yep.
Now, what's your goal for your channels for the next for this for within the next 3 years, let's say?
3 years. My goal, so Colorado Adventures, my outdoor channel, that my number one passion is metal detecting, treasure hunting, that kind of thing, and that's going to be on 5280. So I really put all my time into that channel. Colorado Adventures is just to kind of document ice fishing and that kind of stuff. I don't see that being much of a focus, just because when it's warm out, I do the metal detecting, so that really gets put on the back burner. I can only do the ice fishing for 2-3 months out of the year. So that one is just fun for me. I taking the things that I'm learning on 5280 and trying to apply that editing wise to fishing poses some challenges, but again, that fun. That's just a fun channel. 5280. My biggest goal is I want to reach 5,280 subscribers. That to me is going to be number one. Just getting 100 subscribers was a huge accomplishment. I never thought I would, I didn't even think 100 people I would ever want to watch any of my content. Reaching 100 was a huge deal. If I can get to 5,280, that's kind of my goal. I want to reach that.
You're getting there.
Yeah.
In 3 years, you should have that easy.
Yeah, I'm hoping so, for sure.
You're
I want to do
close to 3,000 now.
I'm pretty close to 3,000. Yeah, I should have that probably in the next month or so. But I would love to do, I'll probably end up doing a pretty big giveaway at 5,280. Just because it's something different. You know, everybody does them at 1,000 or 2,500 or 10,000 or whatever. This would be something a little bit more specific to
Personalized.
my channel. Exactly.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of cool. So somebody mentioned that on one of my, made a comment on one of my videos or something to that effect. And I thought, you know what, that really makes a lot of sense, that I think people can really get behind. So the subscriber count, I would just love to get to there. Otherwise, subscribers are great, you know, but I really like the interaction in the chat, in the comments. So I've make it a point to nearly all the time comment and reply back to people that take the time to say something about my video. So I want to, one of my goals is to keep up with that. And I see as I get more subscribers and more watches, the more replies you get, and it can be time consuming. But to me,
Very.
the personalized connection with the subscribers makes it more than anything else. I've met some incredible people through YouTube that I never would have met otherwise. And
Here.
it's amazing to meet people from all over the country, all over the world, and that we can share in something. So I don't want to ever take that away from what I can give to the channel, and that's the replies to comments. So I will keep that up. That's my goal, is to continue that for sure.
Oh, Dennis, it's only on slow mode for 5 seconds. He has time to drink since typing slow mode. Here, I'll change that. I'll turn it off.
Angela, any more questions?
Tin Cup Tim says he won't quit detecting until I find a crotal bell. My 50 years of detecting is a white whale. I would love to find a crotal bell as well.
What's a crotal bell?
That is like a sleigh bell, and so they had them on the horses. And the older ones, they'll have numbers for the sizes. And then the big thing is to find a complete one with the dangle inside, the dingle dangle.
The dingle dangle. I saw that you found a horseshoe, and that's like, I don't know if you found like 1 million of them or what, but that's a goal of mine. It's still on my bucket list. I still have not found a horseshoe.
And the really cool thing, again, we've talked about it quite a bit, is, you're finding a relic, and we have found them on those like cavalry sites.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's, oh my gosh, this went to their horse. What's the story, or how old, is this a Union, off of a Union horse? Like, to me, that's just absolutely insane that this was, and it's just a horseshoe. People that find thousands of them, oh, it's just another horseshoe. Yeah, but to me, every single relic that I find has a story to it, and that's what just is so amazing. I've got a bucket full of horseshoes out of my garage right now. My wife was like, "What do you need all of these horseshoes for?" And I'm like, I just love. I look at them and I think of the history. It's
they all belong to a different horse who has its own story.
That's right.
Why don't you get it?
Right? Nobody understands it.
Now,
Angela,
Tony,
you see what Snorkel Pirate said?
he just found a horseshoe today, Angela.
That's not fair.
Now, when you're at these, like this camp for the soldiers, do you look for their fire pit and hunt in their fire pit?
We have definitely searched everywhere that we could, for sure. I don't recall finding a fire pit or a privy, as a matter of fact. We've kind of mapped out where they camped at a certain stretch up in the trees, and then it came over just a little bit over to the left, and then there was a larger field back behind them, and we, based on the square nails that we found, we determined that that was probably either a blacksmith shop or a horse corral. And we found a lot of iron through there, but we've never actually found a fire pit or a privy there, which surprises me. So, I mean, again, that could lead to, was that a temporary spot? It wasn't long term. It was built to be a stopping point on this military trail, that they would stop there for a night or something. It wasn't a long term site. But again, what is the story? On nothing that we have found shows that it was actually a site that was there, which surprised us when we found it. Everything around it has been documented as to what it was. But us actually getting permission, we're door knocking on every house that's in this area because we don't know what we're going to come up on. We got permission on this site, and sure enough, it was absolutely loaded. And it's been hunted all the way around this specific property, except this specific spot, and we hit the mother lode with it. So you never know. But yeah, we've never found a fire pit or a privy, which would be interesting, I think, for sure.
Yeah, because I know a lot of miners and I've heard soldiers did it also. A lot of times they would bury their very valuables underneath their fire pits.
I had not heard that. That's interesting.
Well, it's like putting valuables in a privy.
Yeah.
Who's gonna go into the honey pot looking for valuables?
Right. No, it makes sense. It's a great story, and I'll have to go back and really look hard for the fire pit now.
Because they could have gold coins or nuggets or whatnot under it. You never know when bandits or hostiles of any sort.
During that time, that was one of the things that you looked out. You were aware of being robbed at any point. So, yeah, it would make sense to put your valuables under the fire pit or dig them, bury them somewhere right away. In case something happens. Yeah, we've heard lots of stories of finding caches under fire pits.
Sure.
Rob from what's
FL
that?
Thunder Digging with Rob.
Yeah, he has 1,100 subscriber giveaways Sunday.
Yes, that's a good one. I got in on that one. That's a good giveaway.
Ah, and cool.
I thought that one ended on Sunday. Can't remember.
That he just had it.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yep, just had it.
What did he give away then?
I don't know.
Yeah, 9 silvers.
9 silvers.
Oh,
nice. Silver rounds.
It's like he was reading my mind.
I was prospecting Sunday. Well, actually, I was just hanging out Sunday. I did a lot of dredging Saturday.
We have to watch the Weekly Dirt right away, because sometimes he'll have on giveaways that end on Sunday.
Okay.
I just happened to catch it. I usually watch it first thing Monday morning, but I just happened to watch it on Sunday, and I was able to get on. I didn't win anything, but
I like DK's show. That show he has.
The Weekly Dirt, yeah.
Yeah, the Weekly Dirt, where he highlights some really good channels.
Yeah.
It's a good show, DK.
I think Ken jumped off. That guy's been working way too much.
He was in not too long ago.
Yeah. I texted him either this morning or yesterday. We pretty much talk every day. But I said, I asked him how his weekend was. He said it was just super busy. I said, you know what? I'm just going to come kidnap you and take you out detecting, because he's way overworked right now. He needs some time out.
You just might have to do that.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, you're pretty much his number one digging partner, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah. And that's actually a pretty funny story. If we've got time, I can tell a
Sure, we
quick
have
story about
time.
that. So, going back to my what when I started and got into it and stuff like that. Again, Ken actually started detecting and YouTube the same month that I did, and we both found the Hunter GT, and we found his chat room, and at the exact same time, and we both got into there, and it was like, hey, I dig in Colorado. Oh my gosh, I do too. We should get together, and we met one weekend, and then since that time we're pretty much inseparable. I mean, we're out hunting, and we're bouncing YouTube ideas off each other and helping each other with he's actually running Relics Radio now, the podcast. So I've helped out a couple times with the podcast itself, and yeah, I tell you what, I don't know what I would do without Ken. He's an amazing man, and yeah, we get together as much as we darn can, and usually it's not enough. It's not enough.
Never enough.
Yeah, but it just was ironic. It was kind of one of those things that was just, you started detecting and doing YouTube the exact same time that I did. We're starting out the same level, of editing and understanding of how YouTube operates and how to live stream, what programs can use for live streaming. And we've really just kind of progressed together since we started out on this, which is just awesome.
Cool.
That is
Nice to have a
excellent.
partner in crime.
Absolutely. And our wives get together. I mean, we hang out, not just metal detect. We actually do a lot of stuff with our families together, and
Family thing.
it
That's
is
great.
yeah.
Yeah, DK, he seems like a really great guy. He was an excellent guest,
He's amazing.
And
what you see every week on the video, and what you see on the live streams, and the comments and the chats and things like that, that's who he is. The guy's amazing. He's awesome. I mean, he said he had to go back to something. He's probably still working, and it's 8:00 out here in Colorado right now. So he is well overworked, and not enough downtime for him.
Nope. Too much work and no play, huh?
It's true.
I try to live by the philosophy is I work to live, I don't live to work.
There you go.
Good night, Walter.
Walter, good night. And yeah, we're at that pretty much time of the night.
Jeez, that flew by.
Time flies when you're having fun and in great company.
No kidding.
Tony.
Didn't have to prod him on talking or nothing. He just
no, he was really good about that.
That always works for me.
Jesse always likes that, Tony.
Oh, yeah. Angela thought she was going to get stuck with all the questions tonight, too.
I know. If you were here, Jesse, I just would have been like, you take it. I'm just going to sit back and listen to your stories tonight.
Sometimes that's the way I feel. I'm glad you're here.
Terry, have a good one down under. And let Nikki know we missed her. Tony?
It was a good show, Bill.
Yeah, you missed it, Bill. But better late than never, and you
That's
can
right.
watch it later. Make sure
The
you
good thing
comment.
is it's archived on YouTube.
That's
You
right.
Hey, Downey's detecting and prospecting. There you go.
Thank you. What a
Thanks
man. What
for
a
the
man.
super chat. And
That's
thanks
awesome.
for the
Thank
super
you so
chat,
much.
Bub. Tony,
Sir.
again, thank you for joining us. It was a
appreciate it.
pleasure having you finally on this show.
I've had a
Yep.
good time. It's easy to talk about stuff that you enjoy,
Right.
Oh, definitely.
Well, and we try to give you a platform where you can relax and tell your stories without
It's all good.
without the pressure of having to answer a bunch of questions one right after the other.
Right.
That gets boring. So I like it when you can sit and you can talk and we can get a story out of you or two or three or four.
That's right.
You know?
And
I had a great time.
you also did a lot of streaming, so you know how it is when you're doing the streaming.
Yeah.
So now someone else could do it.
Whoa.
And
Wow.
oh wow,
Richard
thank you very
Davis.
much, Richard. Oh man, you get a nuclear blast with that, buddy.
Wow.
you, Richard.
yes,
Thank you, Richard. That's
God.
You're
amazing.
definitely going to make our trip more pleasant.
There
Thank
you
you
go.
very much. Dano's already making me buy them steak when we're out there.
And that's just food. Wait till he gets the rest of the bill.
Yeah, okay, buddy. Oh,
But it's been fun having you on here, and I really enjoyed your stories tonight. And plus,
Cool.
we learned a little bit about you and about
Yeah.
metal detecting. You know, it's,
Yeah. If you have any questions, ask me. All my information's out there, social media, and my emails
Right.
on the YouTube channel there in the about section. Shoot me an email. I get emails every single day. You know, I don't know everything, but I enjoy talking to people that love this hobby and treasure hunting and gold prospecting and everything else and all that kind of good stuff.
well, before we wrap it up, Tony, what other social media sites are you on?
I have Facebook, which I'm pretty busy on, as well as Instagram and Twitter. So
Now, can they all find them by
Yeah,
searching
5280 Adventures.
5280? Okay.
Exactly. Yep. Nice and easy to find me on there, and yeah.
Excellent. 'Cause I don't have our IM up now, so I can't really copy and paste the links to
No
them.
worries.
I try and keep only what I need open during the show.
Well, you don't want to crash.
No. Well, the first time I had DK on, I was using my old laptop, and it was a mess. Oh God.
Oh,
Then I'm like, I'm sorry, DK. It was great having you on, but I'm sorry. But I had to have him on again once I got my new tower.
Yeah.
One of the best investments I've made for my channel was this
Absolutely.
new tower.
What's funny is Ken called me right after the show the first time, and he goes, I felt so bad for Ed. He was so frustrated. He says, I'll get on another time, but we just needed to cut our losses because it was so difficult.
It was
and
bad.
he felt so bad for you guys. Oh my
Okay, we
gosh.
Bill Ohio Relic Hunter's got a quick question for you,
Yeah.
Tony.
Rampart
Ever
area.
hunt the Rampart area?
Rampart, I have not, only because Rampart has a ton of people there. Now there's tons of trails out there. They do a lot of motorcycling, motorbiking, and camping. There's a lot of trash, and then a lot of people go out there and shoot. So there's a lot of new lead, and I'm not digging 22s out every turn.
Yeah, right.
So no, I have not. Just for that reason, just so there's so much new stuff out there, you'll never be able to clean out that first layer to get to anything old.
Right.
Beautiful area though. Rampart Range area, Rampart area is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
Colorado is a
I
beautiful
love
state all in
Yeah.
itself. So much.
Yes.
Like down where Wayne is, you have high desert.
Yep.
Up where you are, beautiful mountain ranges. East of you a little, you have start of the plains.
The plains,
know?
yeah. We're blessed. We're definitely blessed. You get up, and then you get up north, closer to Wyoming, and it's just a wind cycle. You get blown away up there.
Yeah, there was a cross. I kind of took off the corner of Colorado, going. I think that's 25 from Denver. That goes north.
Yep.
By
I-25, yep.
Loveland and everything.
Yes.
there was like a cutoff. Instead of going into Laramie, I took this kind of crossed the corner of Colorado into
Towards Nebraska?
Wyoming.
Oh, and is that 76, I think, or 34?
Might be. It was a 2-lane highway, just
Yeah.
a little cut across. Beautiful though.
Yeah.
Well,
Beautiful.
I'll have to give you a heads up next time I'm in Colorado, Tony.
Yes.
And
Yep.
maybe I could talk you and DK into maybe going panning with me and let me tag around detecting.
Yeah, we've got some spots. Ken and I have done some prospecting before, and we've got some great areas out here. We're not going to find huge nuggets, but there's some flower gold and stuff. But we would, anybody that comes through here, yeah, let me know for sure. I've got actually tomorrow. I'm going up to Leadville again, Down South Detecting. Another great channel you guys have to check out. Zach from Down South Detecting. He's going to be in the area on vacation, and he wanted to go metal detecting. So I'm going to drive up there and meet with him for a couple hours and take him out to some spots that hopefully no one's been on. And, so if you guys are in the area, let
Cool.
me know.
Awesome.
Cool.
Anybody.
And before we get off here, let me give a shout out to our good friend Colleen. She's listening, but not in the chat room.
And shame on you, Colleen.
Colleen and Smack a Rock.
Well, tell her.
She texted me a minute ago, says, "Hi, I'm listening, but I just can't get on the chat room tonight."
Well,
they're one of our loyal listeners.
thank you, Raven.
I'm glad she's listening.
Raven and Smackarock. I won't make fun of your name this time, Smackarock. I usually call him Skipperrock or something like that, and Shamrock or something. But I'll be nice, Smackarock.
But it's been fun having you on tonight, and it's almost
Thank you guys.
Definitely.
I hope you had fun. I know you said you did.
Oh yeah, tons. It's been a good time.
Awesome. And we'll hope to see you in the chat room next week too.
I will do my best for sure.
We know you're busy, Tony, so if you ever can, you're more than welcome, and love seeing everybody, and thanks for the super chat, Nick.
Thank you, Nick.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks
Whoopee.
for the super chat.
What's up? You've been lurking all night. Whoopie's been lurking all night.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight for this episode of Tuesday Night Hangout Live. Next week, we have Dylan with us from Miller Prospecting. It's a pretty good guy, a really good guy. Has a good channel, does a lot of pay dirt reviews and whatnot. And, of course, you know what I say. May you always have a flash in your pan.
I thought you always said the other thing.
Well, maybe one day too, we'll meet you on the river. Oh, it's been one of those days. Good night, everybody. Thank you very
Good night,
much.
everyone.
God bless. Be safe
you.
out there.
Night, Karen.
Thank you, Richard.
Alleyman 24.
Mike, better late than never, buddy.
bet.
4,
Mac
3,
Z, I saw you
2,
earlier, but I didn't get a chance to say hi. Good night.
Good night, all.